going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Singing the Tea. I'm your host, Dustin, singer-actor Lewis, and you already know sometimes I sing, sometimes I give you all of the reality TV tea, but it's always going to be what you want and it's always going to be what you need. And I'm coming back to you with another Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 16 recap. And listen, I got one thing to say before we get started. Y'all, she's back. Our girl phadreaparks is back in Real Housewives of Atlanta streets. Super excited to have her back. Now, she was over there playing with the Married to Medicine girls, and you know, that's my favorite show on Bravo. So, but she didn't give us what we needed over there. But with these last couple of minutes of this episode, I'm glad the girl is back because we're going to get there when we get there. But if you are new here, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share with the family member, share with a friend, share with the person next to you at the cubicle at work. Child, if y'all reviewing paperwork, just doing some stuff, baby, put me on. Put me on. And while you put me on, hit subscribe. While you hit subscribe, hit that notification bell button, baby. Share with somebody. We're trying to grow our community here. We are doing a great job growing the community. I'm so thankful for each and every one of y'all. Thankful for y'all who keep coming back and watching my reviews. But with that being said, let me give you what you want. Now, this episode opens up with Kelly showing up to Shamia's house, and they are having, you know, just a girl's time. You know, it's good to see their relationship blossom and grow. And I like their friendship. I think that Kelly is a good friend to Shamia. I think Shamia is a great friend to Kelly. Really excited to see where they grow and how their relationship is just going to just continue to soar. Only thing I want to say is, Shamia, you saying best friends. Girl, she ain't your best friend yet. I mean, she might be. I don't know. But don't be calling everybody your best friend. Shoot. Make her work for that. Work a little bit. Now, as they having a conversation, you know, they start talking about wanting to have a girls trip, which I think is super cool. What was hilarious about this, though, is like Kelly is trying to get Shamia to figure out where they're going. And she's like, girl, they known for their spices. And Shamia's like, girl, we going to the Maldives? Girl, no. That ain't a part of the Caribbean islands. So that was funny. Baby, Shamia was just throwing stuff out. She's like, oh, Texas, Puerto Rico. That lady didn't say Texas. I just threw that in there. But she just throwing out just all types of stuff. And Kelly just like, girl, we're going to Grenada, girl. We're going to Grenada. Calm down, Shamia. But no, that was hilarious. And then Shamia's like, you know, she has some friends there she's never been. But she's excited to get the girls there. And they really need this trip. And as they're talking, we get a segment from Kelly. And Kelly's just letting us know that she's almost to the end of her divorce. And she needs this. You know, she needs some girl time. Because she said that she is almost or over $150K out for this divorce. Like how much she's having to pay for her lawyer. That's insane. Like that is wild. And she, you know, she mentions she feels like her ex is basically, he wants her soul, like the way that this man is like coming after everything for her. And I truly hate that Kelly is going through all this because Kelly seems like a cool girl. And that dude wasn't cute anyway, but Kelly, girl, I hope you out of this, and I hope once y'all are done, you're done with him. You don't have to worry about him anymore because that's insane. Now, as we get out of that scene with them having their conversation, we see Porsha pulling up to a house with Miss Diane and her sister Lauren, and Porsha's house hunting. She is looking for a house. We know that Porsha's getting ready to divorce Simon, and she is looking for a place for her and Pilar. I love that. This house was beautiful. It was a gorgeous house. Seeing her look at the house, the realtor was so funny to me when she was like, oh, this is going to be my wig room here. I can already see it. And he was like, well, listen, if you get this house, can you buy me a wig? I don't know why that was so funny to me, but it was cute and it was funny with the realtor. So Porsha pulls them aside and she has a conversation with her sister and her mom about just the divorce. And we know that this is Porsha's second time around. This ain't her first spin on this block. You know, she divorced Cordell. Her first or second season. I think it was second season she divorced Cordell. And then now she's divorcing Simon. And she talks about how the first time she was just being that dutiful wife and she was just doing what he wanted to do and she was letting him take the lead. And I think that kind of hurt her a little bit in that divorce. And now she's more prepared. She's more equipped to handle and go through these things in this divorce with Simon. And hopefully, you know, Porsha's next relationship, whenever that might come to, I don't even know if the lady want another relationship, But hopefully when she gets in that space to find another one, she doesn't end back up in this space. Hopefully she finds somebody that's willing to do the work, willing to work hard for Porsha. Porsha is that person, like when you see her in a relationship, you can tell she puts her all into it, but once she's done, she's done. So I hope that Porsha finds somebody really meant for her. Now, after they stop talking about the divorce and she tells them that she's getting ready to go on a girls trip with the girls, Lauren asks her and she's like, hey, y'all good? Like, y'all living in the same house? What's going on? And she basically lets them know her and Shamia are in a good place. She's ready to move forward. She feels like Shamia's ready to move forward. And I would say on this episode, we did get a good feel of that. It seems like they are ready to move forward, and it seems like they are in a good place. Hopefully they can stay there. We know that they're not, but hopefully they can get back to a good place of where they are because they were good friends. So we want to see them work on that relationship. Child, after we get done with the conversation with Porsha and her family, we get a segment with Kelly. We get a lot of segments with Kelly. I would say there are certain we get segments from every housewife with the exception of Britt for the most part. Like, a lot of the other housewives, we get a lot from them. We're not getting a lot from Britt, really. So I think that Britt is really going to be a one and done, as she should be. But anyway, we see Kelly going to the spa. You know, she's having a spa day with her daughters, maybe just the oldest and the dog. Let me tell y'all something. You know when they say the animals, the animal cruelty-free makeup, I feel like Kelly be testing makeup on that dog. Because why that dog got lashes on Kelly? Why did that dog have fake lashes? You be gluing them lashes onto that dog fur? That's not right. Now, Kelly, you need to stop that. CPS for dogs need to go around there and collect that dog because Kelly is testing allegedly. I don't know. I'm just playing. Kelly, check on that dog because that dog shouldn't be looking like that. That dog be trembling in fear because he's scared that she gonna put some lashes on her eye. Goodness gracious, girl, get that together. Now we see Shamia at the radio station with Big Tigger. Listen, Big Tigger was that dude back in the day. I don't know if y'all remember Tigger. He used to have a show on BET and stuff. He wasn't on Uncut. Never mind. Big Tigger was the dude back in the day for those who know. But it's good to see him still doing his thing with the radio. You know, Shamia's at the radio station with them talking about her new song that she has dropping. And he's like, oh, another one of the ladies from Real Housewives dropped the song. And then Shamia, you did not have to throw that lady no shade. Drew ain't do nothing to you in that moment. Now, in that moment, that lady ain't do nothing to you. You ain't have to throw that lady no shade, Shamia. That was a little unwarranted. But I understand because she been calling you a lap dog and you wanted her to feel it. So I can understand. But you look good in that confessional. You look real good. Child, we see Britt and her husband getting ready to go where, I don't know. But we see them getting ready to do something. And she talking to her husband about wanting her to do her brand event for her brand Bare and Naked. I got a couple of things that I'm going to sit here for a minute. Britt said, you know, she has the time now to focus on this because her license is under review. You know, her license is on hold. Britt, I didn't think you were practicing that anymore. You sold your business. So you sold your business. To my understanding, from what I gather from the show, you weren't doing that at all. So it seems to me you had plenty of time to figure out what it was that you were doing with this brand. Because you sold your business. That's why you and your sisters are into it from what I can recall. That's one of the reasons. So your license being up, you, from my understanding, weren't practicing it anyway. Girl, put out the business. I just feel like with her, sometimes we are grasping for a storyline. We are grasping to make ourselves look opulent. And it's not giving what it's supposed to be given. I'm just saying, Britt is the one that I feel like we could have done without. They could have had every other housewife and just not had her there. Or she could have been a friend of somebody just on the background because she is not giving what needs to be gave. I'm just saying, she's really not. She ain't. So on to the next thing. So Angela and Charles pull up to one of her properties. Baby, Angela, you be charging for them properties. And I understand, because you got to recoup on your funds, baby, because you said that you $2 million in the hole. Now, Angela, I'm going to tell you one of the reasons you $2 million in the hole. People not buying them homes because you putting sheets in the window. Angela, Why you put that fitted sheet in that window? Angela, I know good and well you ain't have no craft paper and fitted sheets in the windows. You are too opulent of a woman. We know you got the money because you keep getting your nose done, girl. So we know you got the coins. And I'm not trying to shade you because I really like Angela and I love me some Charles. They good people. But Angela, that fitted sheet disappointed me. I was disappointed in you, Angela. How dare you come to us with this? A sheet in the window. Of all things, a sheet. Girl, you could have called me. I would have let you borrow some curtains. I got extra curtains around here. A fitted sheet. The nerve of you. Girl, and you wonder why the house ain't selling. The house is not going to sell with a fitted sheet, my dear. It won't sell. That's just ridiculous. I can't believe that. Talking about you had to reduce the house. It was from $4.99. Now it's $3.38. You're going to have to sell it for the price of the sheets if you keep it up. Get them sheets out them windows. Now, you done lost your everlasting mind. Now, you and Charles have a conversation about, your mama. And I appreciated you saying, well, hold on, wait. I don't appreciate you saying you were hurt. That ain't what I meant. I got ahead on my notes. I appreciated the conversation that you were having with Charles and you apologizing to him for what, you found out from your mom. I do think it's interesting that, did you and your mom just not talk about it? Or was she lying to you all this time? Because it seemed like that situation was, well, you said it was been a long time for them to still be at odds. It's just weird to me that she finally admitted that, oh, this is what happened. So that's a little odd to me, but it's good to see that you apologize. And I know that you're hurt that your mom and your sister moved out of that house. But Angela, I honestly think it's a good thing for y'all to start severing ties and for y'all to just kind of coexist and them not be like, not on your payroll, but you not be footing the bill for them on a lot of things. So I think that it's good that they separate so they can have their own things. I'm just saying. Now, Angela talks about the event that she has coming up with Britt. She got an invite. She's excited to be there. Charles is like, wait, do you want me there? That man don't want to go. He's like, do I have to be there? So she's telling him, her and Britt have had odds, and she's just glad that she extended the olive branch for the event. And she does want him to be there, but she doesn't want Britt to speak to him. I get it. He tried to shade she tried to shade your man saying that, he got a side baby out there. I 100% get it. I don't even know if I would have wanted him to be there. So you and her could have had that conversation. But hey, it is what it is. I understand. Girl, and I get it. So y'all, it's time for Britt's event. And it's at a golf course. When I tell you, it seemed like every cast member was like, why are we having this at a golf course? I think that Britt probably, y'all hear me, walk with me here, and I'm not being shady when I say this. I think Britt got either country club at a discount or she didn't have to pay for the country club, because if they live there, typically you can get the clubhouse, like you put $100, you get it back. Or you don't have to worry about it. You just got to clean up once you're done. That's kind of how it came off, because it didn't make sense for you to have this at that golf course. It just really didn't. It just lacked substance, this event. Your planner was late. The planner didn't even have the stuff set up for you. Kelly and Shamia showing up. Showing up to what? There was nothing set up. There was nothing done. So that was a bit odd to me. And I feel like you should have been more on top of it, because even the setup, like that was supposed to be done, it just looked like it was just a step and repeat that was outside. And then just menus. Like I didn't see where they did anything extra or anything opulent or anything really for your brand or your business. It didn't make sense. So, Kelly and Shamia, they show up and they go golfing with her, which even them, they were like, girl, what are we doing? You have us putting on these nice clothes to go golfing? Like, absolutely not. Like, it just wasn't cool for them to be in their good, expensive garbs out there on the putting green. That ain't what needs to happen. Now, Kelly, you was real shady when you had said, child, it seems like no one in the neighborhood knows her. That was real shady when you said that about the lady at the golf course. You might not have meant it as shade, but I definitely picked up on it, girl. It was shady, child. So Porsha shows up, the other ladies are over there golfing. Porsha shows up and she sits at a table. I guess it was one of Britt's friends. Portia's like, oh, girl, what is this? And the girl was like, I guess it's some brand of lifestyle or makeup or something, because it's called Naked something. So we get a Porsha confessional, baby, and they open and asking her, it seems like y'all names have something in common. Portia said, hold on, baby, hold on. I've been in the game for years. Her brand is new. My brand is true. We ain't the same. Portia, you better tell them, baby. Portia said, what we not finna do is sit up here and play on my company's name, baby, because Gold Naked Hair has been doing the doggone thing. And Pampered by Porsha Sheets. I wonder if they were Pampered by Porsha Sheets over there in Angela window. Don't make no doggone sense, Angela. I'm still mad at you about that. Now, I know we done moved on, but I'm still mad at you, Angela, for that. Now, you get them sheets out that window. So, all the ladies show up, and they look great for Brit's event. Everybody really looked good. Everybody did. Cynthia finally gets there. Angela looked good. Charles is there with Angela. I love what Porsha had on. Porsha and Kelly probably had my favorite outfits. But Kelly be putting it on. Kelly looks good. But I would say Portia's was very classy. It was real tea party. It was cute. It fit the theme. It really, really did. It fit the theme for that. So, as they're sitting down, no, they ain't even sitting down yet, y'all. They outside. And we see Brit and Angela have like a meeting. Like they just kind of speak to each other. Real awkward. Really, really, really awkward. I don't know what is really the issue between these two. But we're going to get into it in a minute. Child, they go inside. And Brit is in shambles. Brit is confused because she's seen them pull out more tables. She's seen them pull out more chairs. But she's like, wait. It was only supposed to be table set and food, like full meals, entrees, for this set of people at this table, which is just the cast. Everybody else is supposed to have small bites. Get this woman off the show. My thing that I thought was so weird, you saying that, they put out table settings for everybody. So whoever the event planner was had enough table settings for everybody that was there. So I feel like the communication that wasn't really there because it seemed like it was a ton of people at this event. And for them to have that many extra menu cards, girl, where was the missing communication? Also, you are having an event and you have one table, everybody else is standing with small bites. Girl, if you can't afford, just say that. If you cannot afford, just simply say that. Like, this event lacked so much substance. It lacked so much class. Like, it just wasn't there. Like, girl, it was not on point. You passing out gifts to the ladies at the table. Now, they're the only ones that getting gifts. Baby, it's people in the background looking in confusion because they don't know what's going on. Shamir said you ain't even have no gift paper or nothing in the box. So you gift them some of your shapewear. But the ladies, once again, are still confused because they're at a golf course. They don't really know what you do, according to Drew. And you give them this shapewear. So Portia's asking, well, what inspired you to do this? Because, once again, we haven't heard anything about this. She says she went and got her BBL, and the way the garments looked, she didn't really like the way that they looked. So she got together and she was trying to figure out how she can make those garments look better. Let me tell y'all something. If I go and get some work done, I don't give a damn. Pardon me. I don't care how the garment's gonna look, as long as my body look good. As long as I'm healthy. I don't care what the garment look like, girl. I'm not wearing that garment for them. I'm gonna make sure this body is snatched. When I lay down on that table, I don't care what y'all wrap me up in. Baby, as long as you wrap me up nice and tight. That's it. I don't care what it look like. I'm not gonna be showing nobody the garments. I'm showing somebody people the body. I'm showing you the body once it gets done. I'm not worried about how the garments look. See, that's your problem. You worried about the garments instead of the body. Now, I'm just saying. So, she was shaded though. Now, Britt, I caught this shade when you gave Angela the extra large, but you gave everybody else smalls because you gave Porsha a small. Now, I don't know how you get the garments on. I don't know if you take it over your head or over your rump. Because if Porsha got to step into that thing, I hope he got enough elastic to go over all that rump. Because y'all know she got all the rump shaker, baby. Now, she can do this and shimmy it down. It can work. But if Porsha got to step into it, I hate to say, Angela and Porsha need to switch. They need to switch. And hope Porsha can suck it on in when it get to that weight. Because her waist isn't small. Porsha waist is small. But that rump, okay, I'm going to just say that. Now, Britt talks about, when she had, Britt talks about, when she had her company, she took everybody to Miami. She let them get whatever they wanted to get done. Sounds cool, right? Sounds like a flex. Shamia was like, girl, let me work for you. Y'all hiring over there at the Bare Naked? Here's my thing with that. Britt, I thought it was just your sisters that work for you. I thought it was just like a family business between you and your two sisters. So you taking them down to Miami to get whatever they want, that ain't as big of a flex if you just have a company of like 30, 40 people and you send all them down there to get something done. Because I really feel like you said it was a family. Anyway, we already know. Okay, girl, if you did that, sure. So, child, once they get done, I already talked about the small place or whatever. Her sister's employees. So we see Britt walk down to the end of the table that Angela and Charles is at. And she sits down and she's having a conversation with him. And it just seemed like out of nowhere. I don't know if they cut something out. It literally went like, hey, Angela and Charles, y'all enjoying the event? Yeah, we enjoyed it. Just so y'all know, Charles ain't got no side baby. Angela? Girl, whoa, Angela. You coming in too fast, mamas. You gotta drop that thing slow. You can't come at us all fast like that. Calm down. So that was wild because I was like, ma'am, please, girl, what you got going on? So after she said that, Britt talked about and I'm not one of his whores either. This is a classy, this is a country club. Please have some coof and some class about yourselves, ladies. What is going on? Baby, Porsha over there clutching her pearls. I'm confused. Baby, we all confused because this is way too much. And, Charles was like, things like that ain't funny because he ain't like what Britt had said. Now, Charles, you my boy. Angela kind of started that. Angela shouldn't have just brought anything. She shouldn't have brought it up. Like, it just was unnecessary for her to bring that up, especially in the way that she did because it caught everybody off guard. But the saving grace was it seemed like they were able to move forward. I'm with Porsha when she said, are y'all really good? But it seems like they were able to move forward from it. But I feel like the vibes are still going to be weird. Yeah, sorry, it was a gnat. I feel like the vibes from them is going to be really weird or whatever. Speaking of weird, so Drew, she thanks Britt for inviting her to the event or whatever. And then, she says, we need to sit down and have a conversation. We need to talk, to figure out what's the tension there. And Kelly said, yeah, if y'all sit down and talk, Drew, just make sure you tell the truth. Now, Kelly, I like that Kelly. Kelly had taken her foot off Drew's neck. So Drew was like, I don't know what Kelly I'm going to get. It seemed we were cool the other day and now we not cool. Drew, I don't think that she's saying that like y'all not cool. Drew, we know you for your works. And I think that Drew is doing a great job this season overall. But Drew, you will lie for no reason. Like, you be lying. So that's on you, mama. You are a girl for the most part, but you do be lying. So that opens up the conversation between her and Shamia, and they start having words. And I just feel like their argument was real childish. Yes, Shamia, she called you a lap dog. Drew was trying to let you know how it got there and why she feels the way that she does, because you took the situation to Porsha about what she said about Pilar and the college fund thing. Drew, I'm going to be honest with you. I do think that you were throwing some fun shade out there. I think that maybe you might have started off genuine, and then when Shamia was like, I got college is paid for, and you was like, well, I can buy some snacks or something. You kind of doubled down on it, and I feel like that's what kind of made it a little shady. Maybe your intentions weren't to be shady, but Drew, you be lying. So, girl, I don't know. I don't really know which is which on you on that, to be honest. But I think it was a little light, cute shade, but Shamia wasn't having it regardless. And Shamia let you know she ain't no lap dog. She ain't the one to be playing with when it comes to that. So everybody leaves. The situation is not really resolved between Drew and Shamia. So I don't know. Britt just tells them, y'all can't be doing this. This is a classy establishment. Even though she just was going back and forth a little bit with Charles and Angela. But child, there's that. But baby, hold on, we ain't there yet. We got one more thing. I got ahead of myself. So next up, we see Drew going to go have her signing for her record label, which is really dope. Now, Dennis couldn't be there, but she FaceTimed Dennis. I did think it was a bit odd to FaceTime Dennis in that room to talk about the text message situation between her and him about allegedly wanting to sleep with him. Porsha just took that and kind of ran with it. We knew that lady wasn't trying to sleep with that man. I think that we all kind of know that. I think that Porsha just put 20 on 10 and it wasn't that deep. But Drew, it's real cool to see you go through that situation with your new company. Glad that you signed with this record label, and I hope that everything works out for you. Now, your road manager was a little cute, so if he's single, girl, just send him my way. But yeah, he was real cute. If y'all know that man, tell him I said, hey, Miss Parker. But yeah, so that was really, really dope. But baby, we getting to the end of this thing. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Let me take a sip. Miss phadreaparks. Miss phadreaparks, she came in the final hour because I'm being real, this episode wasn't really all that. phadreaparks came through in the last 5 minutes and shaded everybody down. And I said, my girl is back. That interaction, Porsha showed up at her house between them two, and we just kind of get just a replay of what Phaedra's been going through and what happened with her before she left. And she said she didn't leave in the best light. So I'm glad that she acknowledged the situation. I do think it's weird that Phaedra still essentially has not really apologized for that situation, because that was kind of a big deal. It wasn't that was a huge deal. So that's really interesting that she still just hasn't apologized. I'm shocked that the network just hasn't been like, hey, you need to apologize for this as soon as you get on the show, just so it can be kind of done. But you're starting to own it, I feel like, a little bit more than you did in the past. Maybe. I don't know. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. But baby, she was doing a doggone thing. Like, she just had something for everybody. She said she liked the littles. I'm talking about Kelly. She said Britt is a woman of the town, baby. She said the town and country, apparently. And the town and country of Chrysler van. She letting the people know Britt is a woman of the city. I don't know what that means, Phaedra. But yeah, so that's wild. But it's so good to see Phaedra back on our TV. It's good to see I'm glad she's coming on the girls trip. It's good to see that her and Shamia are in a good place too. They FaceTime Shamia and Kelly, and she's coming on the girls trip. So really, really, really excited to see Phaedra back on our screens, back with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I really honestly wish we could get her and Kandi back on the season and just have them really work through that issue. But once again, I understand where Kandi's coming from, because I don't know if I want to work with somebody like that either. But y'all, that's essentially where the episode ends. And yeah, I'm really excited to see the rest of the season and what Phaedra is going to bring us. We got freaking Frack back, so that's exciting. All right, y'all, so that's going to be the end of the episode. I want to thank you so much for joining us and continue to be on this journey with me. But I will see y'all next time. Have a good one, everybody.